Go ahead.
In between the two thoughts of furthering the cause of Iraqi freedom and helping America, and then also fear for oneself, between those things, is there enough justification going through your daily life in war, or do you also have to completely dehumanize your enemy? Is that essential?
I almost think it is essential to go at war with these people like we did. We threw around terms like, and all of us have different terms that we used, but Hajis and sand niggers and
Habib.
just all those words that your commander would use, that we would start to use. That's part of the process when you stop calling them name and Alibaba, or just, and you would give a term to all of them, and it applied to all of man, woman, child. You just start to look at them a little bit differently. You see them as property. The kids do the same thing every time. The women do the same thing every time. So you start to treat them like they're the exact same person. We didn't care if, we did a lot of raids on houses where we would go into these houses. Our commanders would get bored. So we'd go and we'd raid whole blocks of houses just to stay busy. We'd go in, we'd kick in every door, we'd tear down their gate, kick in the doors, go in, round up everybody inside, bring them outside. We'd go in, we'd knife up mattresses, we'd bash in TV sets, we'd rip up carpet, rugs, we would knife beds, and just destroy everything in the house. And sometimes if we saw something as small as a knife or a pistol, that would be justification enough to take away every male in that house. And then, when you drive away and you see the women out there not knowing, where their husbands are going, not knowing what their husbands did to deserve this. And then sometimes being in the Humvee with these men, they're blindfolded and we're holding pistols up to their heads and just cocking the weapons just over and over, just beating them in the head with these pistols, or kicking them, or watching them piss their pants and laughing. All that stuff, it's very hard to declare war on people and not see them as anything less than human, right? I think.
And the justification behind it, I see the more horrific things that some of these men go through in women, because there's a lot of women on the battlefield now because there is no front line. And sure, you're not supposed to have an MOS, but there's NPs that eventually just act like infantrymen and everything else. But I used to live in DC, and I used to always go up to Walter Reed and see a lot of the patients there, and I developed a lot of friendships with the people there that while I was living in DC, and I could see that the ones who sacrifice the most try to justify the experience the greatest. And it's very hard to admit to yourself, once you experience all this stuff, once you've killed innocent people, you really start holding on to the idea that it is a noble cause and it's justified, and they're the enemy and they deserve to be the enemy, and what you did is true and right, and the noble cause kind of prevails.
The whole mentality of you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Well, I got some friends that are vegan. They don't eat eggs. You know what I mean? And well, how many eggs are you willing to break? How many till you say, wait a minute, something's going on here. Maybe I need to do a little more research of what I'm doing. And you ask certain questions and nobody wants to answer them. Why is this happening? No answer. Okay, this is happening. Why is it happening? This shouldn't be happening. No answer. So that's why when I came back, I started doing research. And going along with the lines I want to say about derogatory terms, we have Muslim soldiers. How does that make them feel when they hear, other people in the unit talking about Haji and all these derogatory terms? I wouldn't know what to do if I was a Muslim in the army hearing that. I'd probably sock him in his mouth,
I have to say too on that sad as it is to say, and I'm not saying it's true across the board for everyone, but I know in the scout platoon it seemed to be somewhat the norm that the meaner you are and the more gung-ho, for lack of another term, that you are, the better or the more readily you get promoted.